the champ, Bobby Lashley, joins us on the line now. How you doing, champ?
Oh, fantastic, man. You know what? And when I heard New Zealand, I was like, man, we got to have this interview in person. It seems a little impersonal. I think I need to come there. I talk with so many people, and they always tell me, of all your travels, where do you put as one of your top places to visit? And New Zealand, the times that I went out there, had always been amazing. So it's always been a name that I've always thrown out there. So next time we do this interview, I need to come down there and do a more face-to-face deal.
Oh, we would love that. Absolutely love it. I'm a massive wrestling fan as well, champ, and it's great to have you on, and really appreciate it. Well, although I'm not sure standing next to you in person would be great. I'm about 4'0", so you'd just tower over us. But anyway, I just want to talk to you quickly. I know we haven't got too long with you, and your man in absolute demand. But tell us quickly just about how things unfolded the other night at the Royal Rumble, where you defeated Brock Lesnar. Talk us through it.
Well, it was one of those matchups that people have been asking for forever, and it needed to happen. Unfortunately, it happened kind of a shotgun deal where we had a little fallout of the previous. I think it was day one where Roman had COVID, so he couldn't go there. So Brock moved on our match. So we all got a little upset, and we were like, we got to get it away from him. And then I won the Fatal 4-Way, and then made it in there with Brock. So this was a matchup that everybody wanted for a long time. And going in there, that's what we wanted to do. Threw some heavy punches, heavy blows. He threw everything he had at me. And then ultimately I pinned him and walked away with the title. I mean, so that's like the biggest deal. And the biggest takeaway from that matchup is at the end of it, I pinned him and I became the WWE Champion for the second time.
Hey, you've been around the scene for so long as well, champ. You've been since 2005. Been fighting, wrestling from in the big leagues, but it's been a part of you right throughout your entire life, right? You grew up in the sport, and now you stand at the very top of the tree as WWE Champion. That must be pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. It's one of those things where I fell in love with the work. I fell in love with the grind, and I never really thought about titles so much. I was like, I'm here now. I'm doing what I need to do. Waking up early, doing the cardio, doing the lifting, doing the training, and then fighting and everything like that. I've done it so long in my life that it just became second nature. It became like brushing my teeth. But with all that hard work, I knew that these titles started coming, and this last few years for me have just been a absolute dream. And I know down there in New Zealand that you guys get all the content with WWE on the WWE Network, which is great for us because we can reach so many more places. But this run has just been incredible, and everything that I put into it is paying off. I can also say, hard work. I always say the harder I work, the luckier I get. And I've been working hard, and I've been extremely lucky these past few years.
Hey, Bobby, just talk to us a little bit. I know in character you're playing the heel at the moment, but just can you give us some sort of we've got a lot of big boys down here in New Zealand, right? We're bred to play rugby and be big, strong fellas. Not myself, but we've got a few big fellas. Izzy, my co-host, is one of them. Tell us what it takes for the young kids here in New Zealand. How do they to try and be one day, dream of being a wrestling superstar, a WWE champ? What can you say to them? How can you inspire them for us, other than what you're doing in the ring?
I think the biggest thing is just you got to be dedicated and you got to be persistent. That was the biggest thing that I've ever learned in training. I mean, I wrestled many years in amateur wrestled, and I was really successful in the amateur wrestling ranks. And the one thing that I learned was persistence. Anything that you want to do, you have to be persistent with it. You can't accept no. You can't slow down. You got to go hard. You got to go hard all the time. I mean, with anything, any move that you want to get, you can't stop until you get it. And I think everybody, like I can tell you all, okay, wake up in the morning, do this, do that, but you can read that anywhere. It's the people that don't continually do that kind of fall off. The people that stay consistent, stay persistent to whatever that is, and those are the people that eventually make it there. And you can't look and say, okay, I worked my butt off for this year, so where's my title? No, because for me, it took 17 years to get my first shot at this title. So persistence is there. You got to fall in love with the work, and then the successes will come. But you have to fall in love with the work. And if you don't fall in love with the work, or you don't stay true to the work, then it will it's not going to come for you. My coach used to always say it before when I had amateur wrestling matches. He used to always say, I would ask you if you're ready, but you're just going to tell me yes. Like everybody else, they say, hey, are you ready? Yeah, coach, I'm ready. Everybody says that. He said, but the one person you can't lie to is yourself. So that night before the tournament, you look yourself in the mirror and all those different questions are going to come out. You're going to think about that time that you didn't work out 2 weeks ago, or that time or I could have did a little bit more here. Or I could have did a little more here, or I could have stayed dedicated, or I shouldn't have went out and got that drink, or I shouldn't have done this, or I shouldn't have done that. Those are the times when you beat yourself up, because when now you get in that match, you start questioning yourself a little bit more and that voice becomes a little louder. So I always tell people, eliminate that voice by doing everything that you have to do to become successful. That's it. I mean, everybody will tell you the same thing. Everybody that made it to a very successful level will tell you that the hard work and staying true to that hard work got them to where they made it. They didn't say, oh yeah, well, I should have worked out that day and I went and partied and I forgot about it. And then I just took it and slept in and I did that. You got to stay true to the grind. And if you stay true to the grind, and every door opens up for you. And then later on, that Gatorade always tastes better after you win one of these titles.
I love it. Blocking out the noise and doing the mahi. We call it mahi down here, hard work. And you do the mahi, you get the treats. Hey, also, we just talk to us, I guess, a little bit. Like, you've been around the scene for a long time now. How's the WWE changed from when you were first involved to what it is now?
I think the crowd changed a little bit. And I don't know if it's we changed the crowd or the crowd changed us. But of course, we went more family styles, family oriented. Before, wrestling used to be wild. It was wild. I mean, you would see some of the wildest stuff on TV. But right now, we still have the element of wow all the way through it. It's just a different kind of wow. And we cater to a bigger audience. I have my kids, and I like to bring my kids to the show. My kids, when they come to the show, we get them front row and their eyes are wide the whole time. They're excited. And that's one thing that we bring into wrestling, is that excitement. And it's not like it is changed from now and then. It's just kind of a different locker room. It's a different style. It's a different feel of wrestling. But I think now it enables more people to get in. We see some of those guys, we have a lot more high flyers. Like you take a person like a Ricochet. Ricochet's, if you haven't seen Ricochet, you gotta tune into the network, because the guy is incredible. Some of the things that he does is just groundbreaking. Same with Seth Rollins and some of these other guys. I mean, you have to tune your game. You have to change your game a little bit. When I first came in, I was like, I want to be big, strong, and I want to just pick people up, slam them, and break them in half, and then throw them out. Now it's like, I got to do a little bit different training, because some of these guys are slicker, more agile, more versed in fighting across the board. So my training now changed since I just started. When I first started, it was weights. Now I'm doing my boxing training. I'm doing more cardio training. I'm increasing my flexibility. I'm trying to do more stretching. I'm trying to rehab my body a little bit more, because there's a lot more elements to this game. It's a lot more high flying. It's a lot more faster pace. And it's a lot different competition that you have now than what I had before.
Oh, you're a superstar. I know you're a man in demand, so we're going to have to let you go. Just before we do, can you name one idol growing up in WWE?
Bobby Lashley.
I
love that.
I love it. Legend.
Let me throw a couple of names out. I'm gonna throw one name out that brought me into the business. Kurt Angle. I take him to heart, man. He was the one that got me into the business. But as a kid, just kind of growing up, like Kane, I thought Kane was just crazy. I loved the Big Red Machine. I thought it was just incredible. Undertaker, some of those characters. And then, I copied a lot of moves that I started out with was from Farouk. But then Booker T. I mean, there's so many. I can't name one particular person because there's so many. And when I start talking about it, I get excited. But everybody has their wrestling story, and for me, there was just so many people that I put into that wrestling story as I was growing up.
Oh, you're a legend, absolute champion. Thanks heaps for joining us on Baz and Izzy for breakfast. Bobby Lashley, WWE Champion. Take care.
Pleasure, man. Thank you.